Carlos Rocky Hernandez was a Cuban national who had only 6 amateur fights before turning pro in 1982, and his career starts off well enough until he's stopped by Eddie Gregg in the first round in 1985. From there, he switches trainers and becomes a serviceable journeyman over the next 3 years before being retired by George Foreman in 1988. In the meantime, he's durable and determined enough to give an up-and-coming slugger like Smokin Bert Cooper some trouble. Cooper is 2 years into his professional career here and is still seen as a cruiserweight on the come-up. He's 6 months removed from an exciting nationally televised win over Henry Tillman. He's trained by Joe Frazier and possesses the kind of power that made him must-see TV for every fight fan. He seemingly has everything going for him at this point in his career, except desire. He's a bit of a front-runner, and when Hernandez starts to fight back, trainer Joe Frazier really has to exhort Cooper in between rounds not to quit, and apparently he berates Cooper long after the fight is over for his lack of conditioning.
ESPN and our top-ranked boxing.
And expect fireworks early. Cooper and Hernandez are both bombers. Cooper, especially with a bunch of first-round KOs, likes to get out after his opponent. Oh, those left hooks.
Hernandez 17-3-1 is our the record card indicated to you. Has appeared only once on ESPN. Scored a third-round knockout over Andy Russell. Really a tremendous puncher. And if he lands, Mr. Cooper will feel the brunt of the blow, I can assure you. Feels very comfortable at his fighting weight now, does Carlos Hernandez, at about 200. At times he's fought as high as 220. Said that he was sapped of all of his strength when he dropped to about 190, but it's kind of leveled off now at 200 and seems to be very comfortable. Cooper, on the other hand, as I mentioned, the NABF Cruiserweight champion, only 20 years old, Al. That's quite remarkable what he's accomplished.
He's had quite a rise. You've seen most of it here on ESPN, and except for a lapse against Reggie Gross, in which he lost that fight, he's been very strong. There's the good jab by Cooper. In his fight with Tyrone Booz, a very close disputed decision win by him, he developed a very good left jab, and it's going to stand him in good stead as he moves on. Cruiserweights first, before he starts worrying about Mike Tyson.
Minute 10 to go, round number 1. Excuse me.
That's okay. And the way Hernandez is landing through those left hooks, he's going to have to worry about Hernandez right now.
Under a minute to go in the first round. Again, scheduled for 10. Nobody in their right mind gives this fight a chance of getting there. Cooper's got 11. I don't think either one would be content with anything less than putting his opponent away. Just missing with a left that just kind of bruised Hernandez. Didn't land a full impact. If it had, it would have been over. Under 30 seconds to go in the round. And so the feeling out process here in round number 1 is almost complete. We'll see what happens. Live from Resorts International. We'll continue with this one. Should be a goodie right after this. Would train anybody to fight, as you well know. Tremendous amount of intensity. First round, Al Bernstein.
Slight edge to Cooper. Now that left hook is getting there much too often to suit Hernandez. And that is where a lot of power of Cooper lies. And if he keeps landing, it'll be a problem for Hernandez.
Certainly it's quite obvious to anybody watching the fight that Cooper has an excellent physique. The young man. Cooper promised to put him away in 2. He's got about 55 seconds to do it. Let's see if he makes good. Ooh.
Hernandez's punches are getting even wider than they were when this fight started, and that is trouble for him.
Hernandez almost lost his mouthpiece there. Stuffed it back in again. How are Hernandez's defensive skills, Al?
Well, they're not excellent, that's for sure. And he is getting nailed by Cooper. There's the left hook landing. That would hurt him.
And Hernandez wisely ties him up. 20 seconds to go in the round. Referee, by the way, is Joe O'Neill. Third man in. And Cooper with a consistent round, not very flamboyant, not very dramatic. We'll return for round number 3. Resorts International live on ESPN in just a moment.
Hernandez, he staggered back, and as if that wasn't enough trouble, they took a point away from Hernandez for low blows.
I was just going to say, if you're scoring at home, you can take a point away from Hernandez and alter your scorecard, because referee Joe O'Neill took it away for too many low blows. I don't remember a warning.
No, I didn't see any warning either, unless he gave him one verbally. Joe O'Neill is one referee that's very, very quick to penalize fighters.
Well, if that's his style and he's consistent with it, fine, but he wasn't very demonstrative. He didn't, I don't think, I dare say nobody else except Hernandez may have known that he was penalized.
I don't know. I wonder about that. And he made an interesting statement. He said the people didn't come here to watch me ref at the beginning. He said they came here to watch you fight. Well, he's in
the Canadian Olympic hero Willie DeWitt. On Valentine's Day, somebody's going to dub that the St. Valentine's Day Massacre.
Well, and it might end up, I'll tell you, and that he's facing a real top-notch heavyweight, not top-notch, but a strong heavyweight Cooper would be facing in that. He's been training with Oliver McCall, a real strong heavyweight from Chicago, and that's probably helped him get ready for some of these big punches.
Noticing your scorecard there, Al, presumably you had it 10-9 until you were notified that you had Hernandez was. Is there a philosophy involved in delivering your punch at the same time?
Well, he was waiting for Hernandez to throw and then trying to counter. And he went
double left hook. And now he's chasing Hernandez across the ring, and Hernandez may be hurt. He is holding on. Comes right back with a left hook of his own and then a wild right. "15 seconds to go here in round number 3. And again, the verbalizing of the punches there from Bert Cooper. Round 3 will be history. Momentarily, we'll have round number 4 for you, upcoming from Resorts International after this.
Yeah, a little intensity in the face of Bert Cooper, I guess.
The bell in round 4. Bert Cooper and Carlos Hernandez. Hernandez, having lost the last couple of fights, Al, and you wonder how one-sided he is.
Bert Cooper, they list him as 200 pounds, but I got to tell you, sources say that when he stepped in that scale today, he was way over 200 pounds. How they arrived at 200, I'm not sure. And I'm not 100% sure Bert Cooper is in the absolute tip-top condition. It may be enough to beat Carlos Hernandez, but I think he's been in better condition.
Is there a concern about stamina for him?
Well, there always is in my mind with Cooper, because I think he always tends to slow down later in fights. We've seen it time and time again against Reggie Gross. He stopped to a standstill. Against Tillman had a comeback at the end. Against Tyrone Booz, I thought Cooper lost most of the last rounds of that fight. So there's always that question with him. But about Hernandez, you don't know how well he will come on toward the end of the 10 round.
Well, if you would be the first on your card.
Yes.
30 seconds to go. Round 4. And Cooper just punching down with a straight right hand. And a good left this time by Cooper. Counter punching, and down he goes. Wow, what a vicious left hand. Hernandez flat on his back right above our ESPN microphone. He is wobbly. He is on his feet.
That's it.
The bell sounds. Talk to me, says referee Joe O'Neill. The bell has sounded. I don't believe he has stopped the fight yet.
Well, but the doctor can stop the fight. Now, Joe O'Neill, just to the left of your picture, was arguing with Dr. Doggett.
And now, look at this. The fight starts between O'Neill and the handlers for young Carlos Hernandez. Now, what is the deal here, referee?
Now, the doctors came in and they wanted to stop this fight. Joe O'Neill asked if the bell was sounded, and he is going to let this fight continue.
He is. Saved by the bell is Carlos Hernandez.
But I'll tell you, the doctors stepped into that ring, I am sure, with the idea of stopping this fight. But Joe O'Neill, I guess, overruled them. I didn't know he could do that.
Well, apparently it's at the referee's discretion with the advice of the doctor, and Joe O'Neill was in no mood to take any advice. He had his mind made up. last after that remains to be seen. But Carlos Hernandez has answered the bell for round number 5.
He's in trouble.
Oh, Cooper with a straight left and just absolutely almost running after it. We got a rumble.
Oh, Hernandez landed a good right hand.
Oh, and now Cooper's leg buckled. Look at this war.
Bert Cooper finally walked through that right hand. He was hurt, but he just walked right through it. Wow. Not much art to this, but it's wild.
An absolute rumble. That's what your ring announcer, Michael Buffer, has called for, and you've got a bona fide rumble right now. And they both appear. Cooper's knees buckle just when you... Oh, and a left hand again. Staggers Hernandez, and he holds on momentarily.
They both threw left hooks, and Cooper got there first. What a right hand by Hernandez.
He spit his own mouthpiece out, and I think he said to Cooper, let's get it over with one way or another.
My goodness.
He's
unbelievable.
No question about it. This is a most animated audience, Al, as you just remarked. And again, Hernandez.
Hernandez setting up the right with the jab, and he is landing that right hand behind the jab. Remember, early it was Cooper's jab that was effective.
Oh, and a left uppercut. And he just got a piece of Cooper, who then dived back at him again, and now they wrestle around. No knockdown, says referee Joe O'Neill.
Hernandez is just tired. He needs a break.
He'll get one momentarily, under a minute to go in the 5th round. What a war this has been. You've heard the expression used oftentimes loosely in a fight. Not this time. 20 seconds to go in the round, and Hernandez content to clinch and hang on.
Cooper went back to the left hook there, and that was important for him. That's how he knocked Hernandez down.
That time it was low, and again, Joe O'Neill warns him. We are coming to the end of round 5. Don't go away. We'll return. Al talked about the swelling under the right eye of Mr. Cooper, and I think you could see it there as he came out of the corner for round number 6. It is a mouse to say that 2 mice.
You know, this is a wild fight. There's a lot of brawling. We talk about things like heart and whatever. There are some fundamentals at work here. As you see, I've got Cooper still ahead in this fight by a pretty large margin. There are some fundamentals. In the last round, Hernandez found out when he used the jab, he could use a straight right behind it. Same is true of Cooper. Those are important weapons. And the other thing is, Cooper needs to use his left hook more. He got away from that, and apparently you can't argue with it because Hernandez came back and he's in this fight. So whatever your feelings may have been at the time, Joe O'Neill was obviously correct in his decision. Because Carlos Hernandez now getting very much back into this fight, certainly competitive.
1 minute to go in the 6th round. Carlos Hernandez, at least by Al Bernstein's score. Oh, and a wild left hand that was partially blocked. At least on Al's scorecard, it would appear that Hernandez is a far cry from winning this fight, but don't forget again the liberal scoring system. He can make it up in a couple of rounds. A couple of 10-8 rounds, and he's right there again.
And I do believe that Hernandez is winning this round. I think he is maybe not big, but I think he's landed lots of punches.
Under 30 seconds to go in round 6. This crowd, by the way, I don't know whether you could get it before we cut away to the commercial break, but they were on their feet as one at the end of round number 5 in great appreciation for the 2 combatants' performances. So it looks as if we'll weather round 6 and see you round 7. Stay with us live on ESPN from Resorts International. We'll be back.
Carlos Hernandez very carefully.
Could you lip read there? He said, I feel good.
Well, you know, the one thing that Joe O'Neill did there that a lot of referees don't do is he took his time about making a decision. He's not pressured into deciding in 1 or 2 seconds. Just got that fighter in front of him. He can think about it. He did, even though the doctor's looking to stop it. He wasn't. I've got Hernandez climbing back in a bit.
Having won that round 10-9.
Now, look at Cooper. Joe Frazier wanted him to bend at the waist. He's not doing it. That's why he just got hit with that right hand. Cooper is standing too straight up. That's why he's getting hit with some shots. That was a good right by Bert. Now there he's crouching. That's what Joe Frazier wants, so his rights don't land.
Because that's the only way Frazier knew how to fight out. You're with us tonight, because you probably wouldn't see a better fight, not very often anyway.
Not more exciting one, that's for sure. And we had interesting development with Frank Minton also beating Henry Milligan in an upset. Oh, good left hand.
Forced Cooper to take a step back, but I don't think it really hurt him. I'm surprised that Hernandez isn't working on the swollen eye more often.
Well, he's trying. He just can't hit Cooper at all. That's why he tried that left hook. And he just had a jab a moment ago, Hernandez, and a straight right hand, and both landed. And I would look for him to do more of that.
Under 30 seconds to go in the round. Hernandez punching in ones and twos and not developing any combinations here. Although, for that matter, neither is Cooper.
Cooper's really been dormant, too.
So the 7th round passes rather passively, and we'll go on to round number 8. Carlos Hernandez and Bert Cooper, live from Atlantic City. We'll be back. To be able to listen to what your cornerman tells you, and another thing to do it. And it must be very frustrating for Joe Frazier, who again, between round 7 and 8, screamed at Cooper, I want you down lower. And he's just not getting his fighter to respond to him. Whoa, and a right hand staggers Hernandez, and he is holding on. A right hand by Cooper, and Hernandez is just flailing all around the ring, and now he goes down to one knee.
7, 8.
How do you feel? I feel all right, and we continue again.
Now, the last time Cooper had him down, remember, he got careless. Will he do it this time? Hernandez still dangerous, punch-wise.
And Hernandez is just kind of mauling now. He is holding on. I think he is more seriously hurt now than he was in round 4.
Well, he's hurt for sure. He's still looking to try and uncoil that right hand as Cooper comes in, but he is, now he's in big trouble.
Yeah, he's almost out on his feet, and that's it. An excellent call by Joe O'Neill. That is it. Hernandez was almost out on his feet, and O'Neill stepped in, put his arm around him, and said, that is it. And an 8th round technical knockout. Bert Cooper has won this fight, but not without an absolute all-out war.
Not at all. And as you look at Bert Cooper and Joe Frazier there, you have to wonder to yourself, did Bert Cooper take this fight as seriously as he has some others? Not to take anything away from Carlos Hernandez, but you can see by the swelling over the right eye that Bert Cooper was in a war here. But he was able to come through it as he has.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I give the official time, let's have a hand for Carlos Hernandez and Smokin Bert Cooper. Referee Joe O'Neill stops the bout at 1 minute, 4 seconds of the 8th round. The winner by technical knockout from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Smokin Bert Cooper.
So it's official, 104 of round number 8, a technical knockout. You can put that in the win column for Bert Cooper, who now goes to 15-1, 12 knockouts, and the 20-year-old sensation has got to be thinking about more grandiose plans. Maybe the little rumor that spread around ringside here about Michael Tyson.
I hope not for his
be
sake.
So far-fetched. You don't think so?
If he was in against Mike Tyson tonight taking those kind of punches, it would have lasted 3 rounds. Bert Cooper doesn't need to fight Mike Tyson.
Well, next for him, for sure, is the former Canadian Olympic hero Willie DeWitt. So we'll see what he does there.